If you haven't heard about this, just pay attention for a second. Israel blew up 2,800 Hezbollah terrorists today. You can see some of the video by selling the Iranian-backed group pagers with explosives hidden inside. It all started when Israel killed Hezbollah's number 2 by allegedly hacking his cell phone and then sending a missile through his apartment window. So the group, Hezbollah, wanted a more secure, untraceable way to communicate with its foot soldiers and some of its leadership. So it got everybody pagers. These pagers use a VHF spectrum. It's an old-fashioned technology. Feel free to explain to your kids and grandkids right now what a pager is. But basically, they have a much stronger connection, operate in power outages, which was going to be good for Hezbollah if there was a war. Here's one of the guys who got paged. But not many folks still sell pagers, and the Israelis were only too happy to oblige. With us now, Tracy Walder, NewsNation national security contributor, former staff operations officer for the CIA, also with the FBI. Tracy, I don't know what about this story has captivated the world's imagination, but there's something there that Israel could have pulled off any number of bombings, killed any number of Hezbollah guys. The way they did this, though, is sort of wildly special, is it not?
I absolutely agree. And I think one of the reasons it's probably captivated everyone's attention is, I think, first of all, the precision, right? The fact that it was directed directly at these Hezbollah members. I also think the fact that it was a remote detonation that did this, I think that obviously kind of captivates people, you know, and I think also the scale, right? This is over 2,000 people, almost 3,000 people, like you mentioned. And I think that's what's really captivating.
Yeah, this is video from the hospitals that were overrun with Hezbollah terrorists. You know, you worked against the Taliban in Afghanistan, so you understand the psychological part of this. How much of this is psychological for the Hezbollah fighters, right? That there's this sort of Cold War between Israel and Hezbollah going on right now. It's pretty psychological that you're walking down the street in Beirut and all of a sudden this thing in your pocket explodes, perhaps creates some indelicate injuries, if you will. And you realize that this is in a place that you thought was safe.
Right. So that's a great point, Leland. So really the reality is obviously this has physical implications, right? We know people have been injured and have been killed. But the reality is the psychological implications that this has to Hezbollah are going to last for, quite frankly, decades. They have to find, as you mentioned now, new ways to communicate. And they thought they had that in the pager. And this is going to cripple them in terms of their communications for many, many years to come. So really what Israel has done is completely eliminated their way of being able to communicate technologically. And that is going to be a massive problem for them.
Yeah, so the video we're watching is surveillance video from various places where these Hezbollah guys were when the pagers all exploded. We've been kicking this around on the set. Why now do we think they did this? The pagers evidently went out a couple of weeks ago. Why 3:30 on a Tuesday?
So I think the time, so I just want to talk about 3:30. So I think the time is significant, and that really is the middle of the day. People are at work. People have their pagers probably on them, and most people are awake. So I feel that that's why they used that time. I think in terms of the date, they maybe had several dates that they had in mind, but I think what they were trying to do was do this in response to missile strikes, and the most recent one, probably the Houthi one.
Yeah, the other thing that I think is interesting is the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon had one of these pagers. And I'm going to now get kind of wonky in spy talk, but the operational security of Hezbollah, the idea that they were so thoroughly compromised that the Israelis could get something that was going to blow up into the hands of the Iranian ambassador, it has to also speak to, from a psychological standpoint for Hezbollah, not only their communications networks, but the concept that the Israelis have infiltrated them this far. They've paid off enough Lebanese that the Israelis can do whatever they want.
So the way that I actually equate that is to when we began the armed drone program in Afghanistan. The Taliban had no idea what we were doing, and they all started to not trust each other because they were all giving the location of each other. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Like you mentioned, the reality is someone from Hezbollah told someone at the Mossad where they were going to be getting this order of pagers from, because that's when these devices were injected with the compound that ultimately made them explode. And so that is highly problematic. They have a massive trust issue now within their organization. So
thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.